Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us. I'm Beth Jones.
And I'm Peter Dubois. Yesterday's storm brought heavy snow and gusty winds to our region. That in turn knocked out power to thousands of homes.
Now, there are a number of homes where service still hasn't been restored. Central Maine Power reporting there are still roughly 7,000 customers without power. We were seeing the highest concentration of numbers in Lincoln and Knox counties.
So certainly still dealing with the repercussions of that storm. A lot of people still shoveling themselves out. I know that my parking spaces still need to be shoveled out as well. But yeah, it's all good fun, right? We're almost all the way through the winter.
I would say all in all, things looked a lot better today than they did yesterday. If you just simply gauge things off of how yesterday went, you would have thought we'd end up much worse.
Right.
And certainly there are some people who are struggling right now. But all in all, today, it really doesn't look like much.
Yeah, and the roads especially, thanks to everyone out there, hard work.
Thank you, crews.
Yeah, working hard to get those roads cleared for us today. That really wasn't an issue.
Well, let's see how the rest of this evening is going to play out with a first check of our forecast.
Thank you so much, Beth. Our first weather is brought to you by Scott's Recreation. Locations in Turner, Manchester, Herman, and Orono, Maine. Okay, more 30s have been all over the state. 36 here in town earlier today, 36 in Bar Harbor. Even Millinocket with that thick snowpack came in with temperatures around 36 degrees all the way up north. By Caribou, temperatures were even in those mid-30s. So a little bit more snow was melted. But hey, we got a little bit more snow. So now spring is around the corner. So a lot more snow will continue to melt. Right now, though, things are starting to clear out. That nor'easter is finally starting to die down. Still a couple of flurries in the region for the most part. Most of that heavier snow is long gone. Winds are still a bit up there, 20 miles an hour here in town, 12 by the coast. So by the coast, it's actually not too bad. But in Waterville and here in town, wind gusts closer to 35 miles per hour. And later tonight, temperatures will continue to cool down below freezing. So there will be some refreezing. Be careful. There will be some ice by those morning hours. Beth?
Alrighty, Conrad, thanks so much. More to come on that a bit later.
Absolutely. Meanwhile, a fire destroyed a trailer in Verona this evening. The Bucksport Fire Department received a call about a fully involved structure fire at 322 East Side Drive. That call coming in just before 7 p.m. Bucksport Public Safety Director Sean Gagan says one person was taken to the hospital by ambulance. He says fire crews worked quickly to put out the flames. Authorities tell us the trailer is uninhabitable at this time. The State Fire Marshal's office has been called in to investigate the circumstances of that fire.
Well, bail was set for a Brewer man who state prosecutors referred to as a threat to the community at large. Brandon Rigo appeared in court over Zoom Wednesday for an arraignment and is facing 10 charges, including attempted murder, kidnapping, aggravated assault, 2 counts of domestic violence assault, and domestic violence terrorizing with a dangerous weapon, among other charges. Prosecutors say in one incident during January of this year, Rigo allegedly held a gun to his girlfriend and forced her to take a large number of pills, allegedly with the intention of causing her to overdose.
After considering all of that information, the bail will be $75,000 cash bail. That will be reviewable.
Brewer police are still investigating multiple alleged incidents regarding Rigo, and there are limited details on many of them at this time. He is scheduled to appear in court again on June 6th of this year.
Maine game wardens and Passamaquoddy warden trainees rescued 2 adults and 2 children who were stranded on Moosehead Lake in the storm. 31-year-old Ruby Goodman of Greenville and 32-year-old Joseph Wentworth of Orland were ice fishing on Moosehead Lake with 2 young children yesterday when the weather started to worsen. One child was already wet, so Goodman decided to take the 5-year-old home while Wentworth went to picked up the ice fishing gear and then headed back with the 2-year-old. A spokesperson says the worsening weather further intensified and Goodman's snowmobile broke down before she could get home. Due to high winds and heavy snow, Wentworth couldn't see well enough to drive, so he called 911. Wardens had been training in the area and were nearby when the call came in at 9:15 last night. They were able to find everyone and get them back to shore safely.
Well, certainly a close call there. Well, the fire that took the life of a Newport man on Sunday morning has been ruled accidental. Maine Department of Public Safety spokesperson Shannon Moss says an investigation by the fire marshal's office has determined it involved discarded smoking materials. A mother and son lived in the home at 578 Mullen Road. The mother managed to escape. 54-year-old Alan Easley died in that fire.
The Municipal Review Committee, or MRC, is asking the state for $20 million in order to reopen the Hamden Waste Processing Facility. According to MRC Chairperson Karen Fussell, the organization is down to the last of its resources and is still looking for a buyer, but the past two deals have fallen through. And should it not find the money to reopen the plant by the summer, the MRC says it would have to officially shutter the facility. Since its closure, waste from surrounding communities have gone to the Penobscot Energy Recovery Company, otherwise known as PERC, in Orrington. However, there's been so much waste that PERC has been passing it to landfills across the state since last November.
Well, the Maine Warden Service is offering a reward for information about multiple illegally killed deer in Aroostook County. Wardens were called to the Sheridan Road in Ashland for reports of several dead deer during the week of February 19th. They found 7 deer. An investigation confirmed 4 were shot, and a cause of death for the other 3 remains undetermined at this time. The Warden Service says none of the deer were taken for use. They were clustered together in a deer wintering area with a dense forest canopy that provides shelter during winter conditions. Anyone with information is urged to contact Operation Game Thief at 1-800-ALERT-US. A $4,000 reward is being offered for information leading to the arrest and conviction of those responsible for killing the deer.
Well, as of right now, hunting on Sundays is illegal in Maine. That could soon change, though. Our Matthew Jurancic has the story.
Maine lawmakers were joined by advocacy organizations and hunters at the State House to propose a bill surrounding new efforts for Sunday hunting.
This bill came about from hundreds of conversations that our group has had with working class guides, hunters, non-hunters, legislators, Sunday hunting opponents, and proponents.
Sponsored by House Republican leader Billy Bob Falkingham and Representative Sophia Warren, Mainers would be able to hunt on Sundays with only a bow or a crossbow. Should this bill pass, participants would have to pay a $30 fee, $10 going to the state's Land for Maine's Future program, $10 to outdoor educational programs for kids, and another $10 to the Warden Services for any enforcement needs.
This bill not only allows hunters the opportunity to go out and hunt on Sundays, but it also allows kids who are in school Monday through Friday and are interested in hunting to go out and practice with families or an instructor.
Kids are so busy on the weekends now, and particularly Saturdays with sports, that most kids, particularly mine, I struggle to find time to take them hunting. And Sundays we're all sitting at home. It'd be like, boy, it'd be really nice to be able to take the girls out.
Greco, who is a hunter himself, is in support of the proposed bill.
It's always been confusing to me as to why Sunday hunting's not allowed on Sundays. So anything is a step forward in the right direction to allow people to get out in the woods.
Bornstein says the final draft of the bill is set to be printed and presented next week. In Augusta, Matthew Jurancic reporting for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
A new size restriction recently proposed for Maine lobstermen and women is causing concern for at least some, while others say it might be a good thing in the end. Our Devin Dagnall spoke to a longtime lobsterman and has more.
The Atlantic States Marine Fishery Commission, or ASMFC, has proposed an update to the 2012 lobster addendum draft in response to a concern about a shrinking lobster population. The proposal would increase the legal minimum size for lobsters caught by at least 1/16 of an inch if there's a decrease in fishery. Although many lobstermen have come out in opposition of the proposal, lobsterman Jim Dow of Bass Harbor says the proposal will not be that big of a problem for the industry.
From my point of view, it's not detrimental. We've had a measure increase in the past, and we survived it.
Dow says he believes, if implemented, the size increase could make the first year rough, but it could also help fishermen in the long run.
If they increase the size 1/16 of an inch in 1 year, that year there'll be a handful of lobsters that will not be landed. But the following year, those lobsters will be landed, and they will weigh more, so they'll be worth more. So you will have a bit of a decline in 1 year on landings by not catching those very small lobsters. But you will catch them the following year, and they'll be worth more.
However, there are those within the lobster fishing community who are concerned that the size increase won't do anything to help the lobster population and, in the long run, just hurt the industry.
And I just don't understand the logic behind it, because I can go through and show you what I've done and what I've seen. I might be young compared to some of the guys in this room, but I've been doing this, and I want my kids to be able to do this. This is what upsets me, and it's going downhill.
At this point, the proposal is just that, a proposal, and no definite action has been made yet as far as increasing the legal size of caught lobster. Devin Dagnall, ABC7 and Fox 22 News.
It's certainly an issue that we will continue to follow.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of talk about, well, just all sorts of lobster regulations. This is just another facet in that battle.
Well, and what's kind of interesting here is that DMR, Department of Marine Resources, along with the Marine Fisheries Commission, there are at least three different scenarios that they're entertaining as a potential resolution to this. One is to maintain the status quo for a period of time. The other is to, implement the size change. The other is to kind of make changes over a gradual time period. Right. So this isn't by any stretch of the imagination settled, but it's also kind of an expedited time period. Originally, the plan was to have a resolution and a decision made by May. So that's only about a month and a half away. So this is definitely, it's coming down the pike.
Yeah, and going to be really interesting to see how it all plays out.
For sure.
All right, well, still to come on Fox 22 News at 10, the deadline to file your taxes is quickly approaching. We'll hear from a tax expert on what you need to keep in mind when filing this year.
And we'll hear from the Bangor City Manager on what they plan to do with the remaining American Rescue Plan Act funds. Those stories and more local news when we come right back.
The FlexSteel Spring Semi-Annual Sale is in full bloom with fresh savings on fabric and leather reclining and stationery furniture, tables, beds, desks, dressers, and more. Furniture that comforts, furniture that endures, all with a blue steel spring at its core. FlexSteel, designed for living, built for life. Save big today during FlexSteel Spring Semi-Annual Sale.
Dorsey Furniture, open 7 days a week, Route 1A Holden.
Here at Black Fly Coffee Company, quality will never be compromised. No matter what type of coffee you choose, whether it's hot, iced, or frozen, you can feel confident that our products are the highest caliber. We're here to assist you with your morning cup of joe, along with your mid-afternoon pick-me-up. And while here, grab a pastry for a snack. We always have fresh pastries available from a local business right here in the area. We look forward to meeting you soon.
This is how legends are made.
Chevy Silverado and new Silverado HD. Choose your own path with the #1 best-selling retail full-size pickup and see where it takes you. Find new roads. Get 3.9% financing plus current Chevy owners get $2,500 cash allowance on this Silverado, or qualified lessees with a current eligible lease can get this Silverado for $399 a month.
Say goodbye to lag times and death spirals with our crazy fast fiber internet. At GoNet Speed, we've dropped our prices on fiber. That means hello to fast fiber internet starting at just $49.95 per month. Or go up to 1 gig, that's 1,000 megabits per second, for only $69.95 a month. The lowest prices we've ever offered. No contract, no hidden fees, no joke. Visit GoNetspeed.com to check availability in your area.
We're coming up there! See you never!
Gordon Ramsay does not do losing.
Hurry up! Hurry up!
We on Next Level Chef, baby.
Next Level Chef, Thursday on Fox.
Coming up on Good Morning Maine, we'll have all the latest details about the push to legalize hunting on Sundays. Plus, we'll hear about a dyslexia learning center in Bangor that provides some much-needed extra schooling help. Not to mention, we'll hear from a couple of lobstermen regarding the new possible size limits. These stories and more on Good Morning Maine.
Well, folks, we are officially 1 month away from the tax deadline, and a local preparation specialist wants to remind you that that deadline is fast approaching. Bob Thomas, owner of Thomas Tax and Financial Service, says that for those who get 1099s, which are common with freelancers and the self-employed, to remember that any payment by an employer over $600 will likely be reported to the IRS. So Don't forget to include those forms and totals on your end. He also said it helps to employ a tax professional to make sure you aren't overlooking any deductions that could be applied to your case, so you get the maximum refund or so that you owe less. Thomas says if you want to save on tax prep fees, at least at his business, do a little more homework and go into your appointment prepared.
I think that most preparers and that they would like to have their clients prepared. And so that means probably taking the weekend and sorting everything out on the kitchen table and just adding up all the totals and bring the totals to your tax preparer.
Thomas says the bottom line is being organized makes the entire process easier for all involved. April 15th will be here before you know it, and you can get an extension if you're not ready by then, but it's better to get it out of the way and get your taxes filed.
Some sound advice there. Well, it's been 2 years since President Biden approved the historic American Rescue Plan Act to support communities as they recovered from the economic impacts of the pandemic. A.J. Douglas talked to the Bangor City Manager to find out how organizations can apply to utilize the city's remaining ARPA funds.
Many Bangor residents and organization leaders have spoken out over the course of several recent city council meetings with suggestions on how the city can best spend its remaining $16 million in ARPA funds. Many of those discussions have focused on how the city can address its homelessness crisis.
The council has had dozens of actionable ideas brought to your attention, things that could have slowed the inflow of people into homelessness.
I'd like to propose that the Bangor allow Bangor Friends of Affordable Housing to start putting up some non-congregate shelters. I'd like to find out how we can do that.
A new ARPA fund application was approved by the council during Monday night city council meeting, allowing any organization within the city of Bangor to apply for use of ARPA funds.
We didn't limit it. You don't know who may have the idea, the solution. It could be, how do we address the needs for those who are experiencing substance use disorder? How do we address the needs for individuals who are experiencing houselessness?
The city is working to have live applications available as early as April 1st. The council plans to partner with United Way of Eastern Maine by allowing the organization to assist in the initial application process. But ultimately, the city will decide who receives the funds. The new application has few limits and a broad basis in terms of requirements.
We weren't saying you had to meet this, and this in order to qualify, recognizing that opportunities and ideas could come from any number of ideas.
Deadline regulations for the application are still being decided. All ARPA funds must be committed by December 2024. In Bangor, A.J. Douglas, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
A new bill would bring trained comfort dogs to Maine courthouses and beyond. Senate President Troy Jackson has introduced a measure that would allow access for trained therapy or comfort dogs to courthouses, law enforcement agencies, district attorneys' offices, and a number of other places. Jackson says, quote, "This legislation is intended to offer some comfort and solace to individuals, especially children, dealing with the criminal justice system in the aftermath of a traumatic event," end quote. The legislation was inspired by this pup, Holiday, the yellow Labrador who lives and trains with District Attorney Todd Collins in Presque Isle. Holiday must receive more than 200 hours of training before she can officially be licensed as a courthouse dog and is currently participating in a training program. D.A. Collins is hoping Aroostook County will become the first district in Maine to use a courthouse dog to comfort children and victims of violent crimes.
Well, a Girl Scout troop in Brunswick is giving a boost to displaced children and teens. Troop 74 is working to build boost bags to give to kids in foster care or similar programs. The troop says after they learned these children often carry their belongings in a garbage bag, they wanted to find a way to help. They collected self-care items like shampoo and toothbrushes, among other things. They're also collecting more comforting items such as puzzles and books.
We hope that children who are removed from their homes get these bags to make them feel safe and like someone cares.
Because we feel for them and we know that what they're going through is really hard, and we just know that they really need some help, and they probably don't have all that they need. So to know that we're providing for them feels really good.
The troop is accepting donations through the end of March. So there is a great way to contribute and give a little something to someone who needs it.
Yeah, I think it's a really great effort to see them giving back to, people, a lot of people their age too.
Yeah.
Who they're struggling, and they see that and they're recognizing that. So it's great to see.
A bag full of self-care items can go a long way.
It really, really can.
All right.
Well, coming up on the 10 p.m. news on Fox 22, the legality of an abortion drug is up before a Texas judge who heard 4 hours of oral arguments today.
And we'll have the latest developments from the ongoing Russian invasion of Ukraine. Those stories and more as the 10 p.m. news on Fox 22 continues.
Sure, the driveway looks good now with the snow on it, but you know what will still be under there in the spring? The same cracks, crumbles, and potholes that were there before winter. Call Eaton Paving today. Let's make an appointment to fix those problems when the weather is ready. Eaton Paving and Excavation.
Hey, it's Eric from Green Bear 420. We've been in business since 2010 and going strong, so stop in and check us out. We specialize in glass art by over 100 local artists and even have live glass blowing. Plus, we carry incense, novelties, t-shirts, and hard-to-find items. We have tons of local products for the tie-dye wearing person in your circle of friends. Come see us at 531 Moosehead Trail in Newport. And remember, Green Bear 420, it's not just a store, it's a lifestyle.
I'm 82 years old and I have collapsed arches, which means the first thing that hits the ground is the bone in my arch. I came to Comfort Shoes 4 years ago because I couldn't walk without pain. And she spent so much time on my feet getting the right shoe, and we finally found the right pair. Once you made these orthotics for me, I have no pain. These are so comfortable. I have no discomfort. I feel like I could go running, and I thank you and Comfort Shoes for that.
Maine's #1 Kia dealer, Van Sickle Kia, has a cost-friendly Kia with your name on it. Choose from our fleet of front-wheel drives, all-wheel drives, hybrids, and fully electric vehicles, all affordable, tech-packed, and great on gas. Check out the all-new 2023 Kia Niro Hybrid with 54 mpg highway, or check out the new 2023 Kia Sportage or Sorrento. All come loaded with safety features and are great on gas. Plus, get Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty, the best in the business.
The best cars, the best prices, and the best warranty. I'm Peter Van Sickle. I guarantee it.
Sure, the driveway looks good now with the snow on it, but you know what will still be under there in the spring? The same cracks, crumbles, and potholes that were there before winter. Call Eaton Paving today. Let's make an appointment to fix those problems when the weather is ready. Eaton Paving and Excavation.
There's one number you need to know. It's called Joe.
A Texas judge heard more than 4 hours of oral arguments from both sides of the abortion pill issue. Some 40 million women could be impacted nationwide. Fox's Madeline Rivera reports.
Since the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade last year, the latest court battle is over abortion pills. A federal judge in Texas appointed by former President Donald Trump could force the drug mifepristone off the market nationwide.
The evidence is there that this is a safe drug.
It's part of a 2-pill regimen responsible for over half of abortions in the U.S. The Food and Drug Administration approved mifepristone over 2 decades ago, but a coalition of pro-life groups are suing, asking them to rescind approval.
The FDA has one job, which is to protect Americans from dangerous drugs. And the FDA did not do any safety testing on the chemical abortion drugs before allowing them onto the market.
The judge could issue a temporary injunction, stopping sales of the medication until the lawsuit is settled.
Abortion does not need to be legislated by a court, by a single judge who doesn't have expertise in this matter.
Critics say cutting access to these pills will drive up surgical abortions. The Biden administration is bracing for all possible outcomes.
The decision could be unprecedented, of course, and devastating to women's health.
and we may find ourselves in uncharted territory once again.
Major retailers have been thrust into this debate. Walgreens already says they will not sell abortion pills in certain Republican states that have threatened legal action. In Washington, Mather Rivera, Fox News.
After at least 6 major incidents at U.S. airports this year, the Federal Aviation Administration hosted a safety summit today as they began discussions among industry leaders on how to improve safety for everyone on the ground and in the skies. Fox's Lauren Blanchard now with more.
A video simulation shows a close call last month in Austin, Texas, when a FedEx cargo plane almost landed on the same runway that a Southwest passenger jet was waiting to take off. Also last month in New Jersey, a United plane clipped another plane's wing on the tarmac. And in January, a computer glitch caused the first nationwide ground stop since 9/11.
Basically, what in the heck is going on out there?
After multiple close calls this year alone, just outside Washington, D.C., where there was another near miss last week between planes at Reagan National Airport, the Transportation Secretary met with industry leaders at an air safety summit.
Aviation has to be about safety first and moving people and goods within that safety first framework.
Increasing the strain on the system, the surge in travelers since the pandemic, plus a wave of new employees at the airlines.
Change and fresh faces are not new for regional aviation.
The group has promised to continue discussions on how to improve safety as quickly as possible, but the head of the National Transportation Safety Board says just talking isn't enough.
The NTSB has issued 7 recommendations on runway collisions that have not been acted upon. One is 23 years old and still appropriate today. How many times are we going to have to issue the same recommendations over and over and over again?
The aviation leader said Congress needs to increase funding for their industry in order to help modernize it and keep up with demand. In Washington, Lauren Blanchard, Fox News.
The first major U.S. railroad merger in more than 2 decades is getting the green light. Regulators approving Canadian Pacific's merger with Kansas City Southern, the deal worth $28 billion. The combination of the railroads will create the first freight rail network linking Canada, the U.S., and Mexico. The move comes after a 2-year-long review by the U.S. Surface Transportation Board. It said the combined company will have little to no track redundancies or overlapping routes and would add more than 800 new union jobs. Canadian Pacific says it's already reached agreements with some of the biggest rail unions.
Well, banking fears spread across global markets Wednesday after shares of Switzerland's second largest bank tumbled more than 20%. Fox's Connell McShane has that story.
The problem is the bond market. And my prediction, I called Lehman Brothers years ago, and I think the next bank to go is Credit Suisse.
Growing fears on Wall Street, this prediction could come true after shares of Credit Suisse plunged on Wednesday. Shares tumbling after the bank's largest investor, the Saudi National Bank, announced it would no longer buy more shares due to regulatory limits. This prompted a sell-off that at one point saw Credit Suisse losing more than a quarter of its value, which eventually led to a pause in trading in the Swiss market. The drop sent shares of other European banks tumbling, some by double digits.
Credit Suisse is going to fail. Let it fail. I mean, my whole point is we should have let Silicon Valley Bank fail, Signature Bank fail.
The banking crisis comes just days after the collapse of Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank here in the United States. Both banks were shut down over the weekend, with the federal government unveiling a plan that protected depositors. The turmoil has prompted some lawmakers on Capitol Hill to call for tougher banking regulations.
We're reaping the consequences of lighter regulation. When Chair Powell started leading the deregulatory movement in the Federal Reserve and getting the regulators to lighten up, the consequence is problems get missed. The oversight becomes lighter.
Senator Elizabeth Warren and other top Democrats are also pushing for the Justice Department and the SEC to open an investigation into the failure at Silicon Valley Bank. In New York, I'm Connell McShane, Fox Business.
Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin is rejecting Moscow's claim the U.S. is to blame for the downing of an American drone over the Black Sea following a collision with a Russian jet. Fox's Mike Tobin has more from Kyiv.
Fears of a military conflict with Russia are growing after a collision between a Russian jet and an American drone on Tuesday. It happened over the Black Sea, just southeast of Ukraine. There's been plenty of tough talk on both sides. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin saying Wednesday the Russians were, quote, dangerous and reckless, once again insisting the incident took place in international airspace and Moscow had no reason to scramble jets.
This hazardous episode is part of a pattern of aggressive, risky, and unsafe actions by Russian pilots in international airspace.
The Russians firing back, claiming the U.S. is to blame because its drone was flying with its transponder off. Officials tell Fox News that's not likely because this drone was not a stealth aircraft and was flying a routine reconnaissance mission. Moscow also claiming the collision was due to an unexpected movement by the drone.
The Russian pilots acted very professionally. No weapons were used by our fighter jets. This unmanned aircraft performed a sharp turn and collided.
American lawmakers now calling for swift action, hoping to show the Russians continued aggression will have consequences.
I think we continue the sanctions. We make those. They should be as crushing as they possibly can be. And we should continue in Ukraine to supply what the Ukrainians need to defend their sovereignty.
Secretary Austin also says the U.S. will continue to fly these reconnaissance missions in international airspace despite new threats from Moscow. In Kyiv, Mike Tobin, Fox News.
And still to come on Fox 22 News at 10, our coverage of the crisis America's teenage girls are in continues tonight with a focus on social media.
And despite a disappointing end, this year's Maine men's hockey team left fans with a lot to be proud of. We'll be right back.
They're relentless! It's starting to feel extremely targeted!
That one really likes you! Animal Control, this Thursday on Fox. Comfy, cozy, relaxing. Not Joe. Joe's Furniture. Joe's Furniture Warehouse in Newport is the place to find rockers, recliners, sofas, and easy chairs. Quality furniture, affordable prices. Not your average Joe. Joe's Furniture Warehouse, Grogan Avenue in Newport.
If you're waiting for a sign that it's time to finally tackle that window project, here it is. Renewal by Anderson's incredible Window Replacement Days. Get all the benefits of Renewal by Anderson's exclusive and easy replacement window process. And save a lot of money while you're at it. An immediate design consultation, exclusive Fibrix composite material windows, and precise installation by highly trained certified master installers. You get it all during Renewal by Anderson's Window Replacement Days. Call Renewal by Anderson today and take advantage of this limited time offer and special financing.
Are you considering buying a new home? A home inspection is a major step in the home buying process. Knowing the current condition of your future home is very important. From simple DIY repairs to major issues that could cost thousands down the road. Not only can TJ inspect your property, but he is also a licensed contractor. Give him a call today at 210-5000 for a free inspection quote.
Imagine yourself in a new Toyota.
Yeah.
Sick.
Whoa.
Oh, yeah.
Right now, you could save up to $1,400 with affordable 3.99% financing on a luxurious Highlander. And every Highlander comes with 2 years no-cost maintenance and more.
Ready, set, go get your Toyota today.
Toyota. Let's go places.
Pepper's Landing is the definition of authentic Maine dining. Named in honor of our grandfather, the primary focus at Pepper's Landing is offering a variety of fresh, locally harvested seafood to all. We take pride in our quality and selection, but it doesn't end with just seafood. We also offer delicious selections of burgers, pasta, steaks, and more. So stop in to any of our locations and see what Pepper's Landing is all about.
Durable, sturdy, stylish. Not Joe. Joe's Furniture. Joe's Furniture Warehouse in Newport is the place to find solid wood, built to last, made in Maine dressers, bureaus, and nightstands. Not your average Joe. Joe's Furniture Warehouse, Grogan Avenue in Newport.
In tonight's series on how America is failing its teenage girls, we look at the impact of the internet. One expert telling Fox News unregulated social media has become a weapon of mass destruction for the young generation. Fox's Jillian Turner has that story.
About
3 years ago, I started posting a lot about mental health because I have bipolar.
19-year-old Allie Drake says being a teenager today means you live your life on social media.
No one's ever asked me for my number. It's always been like, hey, do you have Snapchat?
She explains that social media provides context necessary for real life.
Without social media, you would probably never really understand what people are even talking about in conversations.
Like many girls, Allie posts about her struggles in order to connect with people her age, even when screen time makes her feel bad about herself. American teens rack up an average of 4 hours per day on social media outside of school, some spending nearly 2 hours on TikTok and an hour and a half on Snapchat. Girls' social media apps of choice are TikTok, Instagram, and Snapchat. They're likelier than boys to use all three. Last month, teen activist Emma Lemke told lawmakers that social media apps are weapons of mass destruction for teens' mental health.
As the status quo creates it, I, a 12-year-old girl, could go onto Instagram and research a healthy recipe and within seconds be fed pro-anorexic content.
Dr. Delaney Rustin, creator of hit documentary Screenagers, agrees.
The ways that girls are socially inclined to higher levels of comparisons, low self-esteem related to body image, and the list goes on.
She explains girls are exposed to more of what she calls looks-based content, pushed by the algorithms, and that's a big problem.
They're on average looking at very different content. One is much more looks-based and all the makeup tutorials and things like that.
Experts tell us girls should be aware of all those beauty tutorials that proliferate on social media, as well as trends and challenges that promote disordered eating and elite lifestyles and particular skin colors. In Washington, Jillian Turner, Fox News.
More than 100,000 Californians still in the dark after another winter storm pounds the state with heavy rain and strong winds. Fox Weather's Max Gordon has the latest.
It's crazy. I know. I just wish it would stop.
California just can't catch a break after 2 atmospheric river events hit the state in just a few days' time. The latest storm knocked down trees, power lines, and led to flash flooding and mudslides in some areas. Hundreds of thousands had their power knocked out.
The real challenge with restoring the power is the extent of the damage.
One of the hardest hit areas, the town of Pajaro in Monterey County. That's where thousands were put under evacuation orders last week when a levee breach on the Pajaro River led to massive flooding. Repairs have been made to plug a 400-foot gap in the levee, but local leaders say more needs to be done. A request Governor Newsom personally heard while touring the area Wednesday.
We are committed to the long haul, and we're committed to this community, and you have my word on that.
While rains have subsided, more bad weather is expected to hit California later this week. Local authorities say they're preparing for possible flash floods and are urging residents near rivers and creeks to be on alert.
Even though the rain has subsided, danger is still present. With the amount of rain we have received over the last couple of weeks, our reservoir systems and dam systems are at maximum capacity.
In total, 43 of California's 58 counties are under emergency declarations due to the severe weather. In Santa Cruz County, California, Max Gordon, Fox Weather.
I'm just wishing everyone out west the best as they deal with that inclement weather. Just a lot that they're not used to out there.
Yeah, really scary, unprecedented situations going on there for sure. Alrighty, well, back here at home, our full 5-day is coming up, and things are looking okay for tomorrow.
Yep.
But the roller coaster ride kind of continues a little bit. The latest coming up.
Temperatures were slightly below average today, but much warmer temperatures will be moving on in. How warm? That's a big question. And when will that warmth arrive? I'll have the answers coming up.
When you've experienced fire and smoke damage in your home, when pipes break and you have water everywhere, when you're concerned about your family's health because of mold, you need a friendly face to take care of it all. You need the friendly faces of Bouchard Cleaning and Restoration. We're just a click or call away. Whatever life throws at you, Bouchard Cleaning and Restoration is here for you. Bouchard Cleaning and Restoration. You keep the memories, we'll handle the rest.
Here at Garrett's Auto Sales, we believe in fair prices, superior service, and always treating the customer right. We have a fantastic selection of cars, trucks, and SUVs to choose from, with some priced under $10,000. All our vehicles come with a complimentary 30-day warranty and can be seen at garrettsauto.com. Come see us at Garrett's Auto Sales, where we focus on you, the customer. We're located just 2 miles from the Brewer Walmart on Route 1A. We look forward to meeting you.
Pond Hill Farms in Brooks, Maine offers 100% grass-fed beef in a variety of ways. Choose between individual cuts that are state inspected and ready to pop in your fridge or freezer. If you're looking to stock up, Pond Hill Farms offer the option to purchase hanging weight by quarter, half, or whole. We also offer live cattle if you're looking to grow your own herd. Pond Hill Farms also offer rental cottages with spectacular views of the farm and the Maine outdoors. Whether you're looking for fresh Maine meat or a gorgeous place to vacation, Pond Hill Farms is the place to be.
Family owned and operating in the Bangor area for more than 10 years. Crosby's Welding is here to help you. We specialize in steel, stainless steel, and aluminum welding and fabrication. We serve many of the local industries from Maine lobstermen to the commercial trucking industry and everything in between. Fully mobile on-site construction services right down to custom signs and fire pits. Fast, friendly, reliable service. Give us a call today for a free estimate, 974-7815.
After a controversial outcome, Drew McIntyre and Sheamus clash to find out who will face Gunther at WrestleMania. An all-new Friday Night SmackDown, live at 8 Eastern, 7 Central on Fox.
Welcome back, folks. Our main weather is brought to you by Diversified Ink Tattoo Studios in Penobscot Plaza in Bangor, providing custom ink by licensed artists for over 20 years. All right, things are starting to improve, folks. Our visibilities are back to 10 miles besides Bar Harbor. 9 miles still there, a couple of flurries still in the area. For the most part, this nor'easter is starting to finally move out of the area. Like I said, a couple of flurries lingering, and just outside of the state, we do have some lighter snow indicated right there. But overall, though, most of that accumulative snowfall is gone. But look at this rotation, this counterclockwise rotation. Looks like a mini hurricane, right? With that really nice rotation, and things are going to start improving, folks. So don't worry. It's starting to move out of the area, and that's going to continue to be a trend. Massachusetts got over 2 feet of snow in spots, so incredible stuff. Definitely a little bit more snow than some of these models were saying, but absolutely a good amount of snow has fallen. This nor'easter has left its mark. Now it's starting to move out of the area, and then I would say Friday, maybe we'll get a couple of lighter rain, maybe some snow showers as well. Temperatures will be a little bit warmer, so we are looking at more green showing up here on the radar, which does indicate some rain and then some snow on the back end as temperatures start to cool off, mostly in the evening hours and then into those overnight hours. Not much snowfall is going to be falling here in town, maybe a trace at most. Probably not with those temperatures above freezing, but north of town, we're looking at Millinocket, Greenville. Maybe a couple of inches will be possible, especially as those temperatures cool off and snow starts to accumulate. Rainfall-wise, though, we're looking at maybe 0.10, maybe 0.15, so not a big rainmaker, but it will be melting a little bit more of our snow. Winds are still a bit on the pretty breezy end, I'd say, more like windy here in town, 20 miles an hour, breezy by the coast, though, so that's not looking too bad. Machias, though, 19-mile-an-hour wind. That's sustained wind, so gusts are closer to 30, 35, even 40 in some spots, folks, so today's the day. Hold your hats, of course. Even into those morning hours, we do have gale warnings that will be in effect till around 8 a.m. on Thursday, so we will still have some pretty breezy conditions into those morning hours. But like I said, temperatures will be nice. Our first official day of spring is Monday. Look at that, 40 degrees, so that's a near average for this time of year. The next couple of days, though, will be warm Thursday, Friday into Saturday. Mid-40s are also possible. Wow, it's been pretty mild, especially here in the Northeast this winter season. Temperatures tonight will be hovering at around 26 degrees. Some flurries early. Winds will continue to stick around, though, so definitely hold your hats by those morning hours for that morning commute. Tomorrow, though, what a wonderful day. Temperatures in the mid-40s, partly cloudy skies. A lot lighter winds, but still something to worry about. Our extended forecast outlook does show those lighter rain and snow showers on Friday. Saturday, a little bit of rain, especially with those warmer temperatures. Then we cool off after a cold front passes by on Sunday. Back to warming up for a first day of spring on Monday. Beth?
A little bit of a break, I think. We could use it.
Absolutely. Loving the look of those temperatures there.
For sure.
All right, well, sports is coming up next with Ryan Sudol. Stay with us.
Markdown Madness has started at the Furniture Gallery, and we're in the game to save you money. Introducing our starting lineup. 10% off all in-stock recliners for the best seat in the house. 10% off all adjustable bases to upgrade your sleep and be game day ready. And up to 70% off all clearance items. The Furniture Gallery brings you better brand names plus a bigger in-stock selection, all at the lowest prices around. Hurry in to catch all the action. Find your best value at the Furniture Gallery in Augusta, Bangor, Gorham, Newport, and North Windham.
They've got the sharpest pencil in town. Now they just sit around that showroom figuring deals and whittling that old pencil down. They know that if you buy once, you're gonna be back. So instead of buying one, you're buying two, and that's a fact. They've got the sharpest pencil in town.
So come on down, neighbor. The coffee pot's on.
The Lucerne Inn and Ryan's Pub is world-renowned for beautiful dining with a delicious view. Come and enjoy the experience of their all-you-can-eat seafood dinner every Friday night now through April with award-winning dishes from their executive chef, Arturo Montes. Simply call to make your reservation or order for takeout. You can also take your taste buds on a journey with their 5-course international menu, Tuesday through Thursday, for just $29.95 per person. The Lucerne Inn. Beautiful dining with a delicious view.
Tonight's sports is brought to you by Herman Motor Company. Whether you're looking for a new vehicle or to have your current vehicle serviced or detailed, Herman Motor Company has it all.
Hey everybody, Ryan Sudol here. Thank you so much for joining us. Maine men's hockey season ended last week with a playoff loss to Vermont. But despite the ending, there's a lot to be positive about after Ben Barr's second season in Orono. Tyler Cruz has the story.
Last week, the book officially closed on Ben Barr's second season as Maine hockey's head coach, a season really defined by growth.
There was some growth of the team, growth of certain individuals as players, and most importantly, I think there was growth of, what's okay and what's not okay within our program and the standard that our players set this year.
After ending last year with just 7 wins and being picked to finish last in the Hockey East preseason poll this year, the Black Bears got to work trying to right the ship. And that process all began in the summer.
Each student athlete on our team really committed to putting the work in. They all came here in July on their own. That was, first and foremost, a really important step for us to take as a team in a school.
And one thing that summer session told Coach Barr right away, this year his guys are bought in. And with 16 new guys on the roster, that top-to-bottom commitment went a long way.
As a coach, you preach your values and your standards, but even if you have 2 or 3 guys that aren't bought into it, you're in trouble. And we didn't have that at all, which was really refreshing. And again, that's a credit to our leaders.
So from July on, the Black Bears as a whole worked to bring Maine hockey to what it once was. And that all starts with setting a standard.
If we allow things to be okay, they're always going to be okay, and if we don't, and we expect more, and we, develop our players and hold them to certain standards, some players are capable of way more than maybe they even think they are. And then maybe our team is capable of more than people think it is.
The result? Heading into the last weekend of the regular season, Maine had a chance to finish as high as 4th in Hockey East. They ended the season 6th, hosting a play-in game and finishing on the wrong end of a tough battle with Vermont.
And I think you saw that a little bit the last 2 weekends where we were doing some out-of-character things, which led to the puck ending up in the back of our net, which ended up with us losing 3 games in a row. And, so that's a great lesson for us, just to, hey, it still has to be a day-by-day thing.
But at the end of the day, it's the wins and the losses that help teams grow And that's exactly how the Black Bears are looking at it as they gear up for next fall.
Learning how to deal with having some expectations is really important. And, you can't learn how to deal with that until they're actually there. Tremendously disappointing end, but I think at the end of the day, we'll look back and be appreciative that we went through it.
Okay, staying with the University of Maine, Maine baseball had one game to go before opening up America East play. That game 3 p.m. on Wednesday at George Washington University. Maine looking to bounce back after a string of losses, so let's check the box score. Maine beat George Washington 15-8 on Wednesday. Glenn Coburn got the start and the win for the Black Bears. Chris Knight was handed the loss for GW. Offensively, Quinn McDaniel knocked in 3 RBIs on 2 hits. Colin Plant hit his first homer of the season. He went 3 for 6 with 4 RBIs. And the Black Bears snap a 4-game losing skid. They head to UMBC to open conference play this weekend. Okay, now to some hoops. Huge game across the bridge at Brewer High as the Witches and the Rams of Bangor battled each other in unified action on Wednesday. It was such a great event. The mission was pack the gym, and they did a pretty good job at that. Let's start in the first half. Here's Bangor's Bella Burnham. She was the high scorer for the Rams, and it's because of shots like this. Money from just inside the foul line. Still first half. Brewers' Ashlyn Smith on the steal. She takes it down the floor and passes it up to Christopher Shore in transition. He gets the lay-in to go. Later, how about Joe Lane taking this thing coast to coast for Bangor? Pulls up with no hesitation. What confidence and poise to knock that shot down just inside the arc. Finally, in the second half, who could forget my man, C-Money, Christian McDonald for Brewer, nothing but net from deep. He was the high scorer for the Witches as they close out their season with an 81-61 win. Okay, let's check back in with the Patriots. After trading away Jonnu Smith and letting Jacoby Myers walk, Belichick has brought in a pass catcher. Welcome to New England, Juju Smith-Schuster. Juju made his name with the Steelers, posting his best season in his second year in the league, reeling in 111 catches for 1,400 yards in 2018. After dealing with some injuries, he had a great rebound season in 2022, his first and only year with the Kansas City Chiefs, 78 catches and 933 yards. The deal with New England is reportedly for 3 years and $33 million. That's the same as the Jacoby Myers contract with Las Vegas. And just breaking in the last couple hours, the Patriots have now also signed former Jets and Jaguars running back James Robinson. So there you go. Staying on the topic, we're about 2 weeks away from the Red Sox opening day. And on Wednesday, we learned the Sox opening day starter, which kind of makes baseball season feel a lot closer, right? Taking the mound for the Sox when they take the field against the Orioles at Fenway on March 30th will be newly acquired right-hander Corey Kluber. While Chris Sale will be in the rotation to start the year, he will be starting the second game of the regular season. Manager Alex Cora said he had known for a while that the 3-time All-Star would be his day one starter, but the news just being announced to us on Wednesday. Okay, that's all the time we have for sports. I'm Ryan Sudall. We'll be back right after the break.
Tonight's Stock Report is brought to you by Loring Outdoors. We are looking for committed workers to build one-of-a-kind pack baskets. Head on over to loringoutdoors.com.
Paramount Paving, Maine's go-to for all your paving and seal coating. Paramount Paving offers commercial and residential paving and seal coating services throughout eastern and central Maine. Give us a call for a free estimate today. Paramount Paving. When it comes to paving, we are Paramount.
When you're ready to tackle your next building project, no matter how big or small, depend on Hammond Lumber Company for the products and services you need. The knowledgeable staff at Hammond Lumber will be with you every step of the way and keep your project on schedule. From free estimating and project planning to design and drafting services, an extensive product inventory with a wide variety of brands to choose from, and of course, Hammond delivers from any of the locations across Maine and New Hampshire. Hammond Lumber Company, your building project partner.
Imagine yourself in a new Toyota.
Perfect. Nice.
Yeah, as long as we're imagining.
Give it up for your reigning fishing champion!
Me? Oh, come on.
Right now, you could save up to $1,000 with affordable 3.99% financing on an all-wheel drive RAV4. And every RAV4 comes with 2 years no-cost maintenance and more.
Ready, set, go get your Toyota today.
Toyota, let's go places.
The FlexSteel Spring Semi-Annual Sale is in full bloom with fresh savings on fabric and leather reclining and stationary furniture, tables, beds, desks, dressers, and more. Furniture that comforts, furniture that endures, all with a blue steel spring at its core. FlexSteel, designed for living, built for life. Save big today during FlexSteel Spring Semi-Annual Sale.
Dorsey Furniture, open 7 days a week, Route 1A Holden.
Paramount Paving, Maine's go-to for all your paving and seal coating. Paramount Paving offers commercial and residential paving and seal coating services throughout eastern and central Maine. Give us a call for a free estimate today. Paramount Paving. When it comes to paving, we are Paramount.
Wait for it, wait for it. Wow! Oh, my!
Congratulations, you are the champion.
Let the celebration begin.
The next astronauts on the moon will be sporting a new spacesuit. The new spacesuit for the Artemis missions was unveiled at an event in Houston on Wednesday. It is sleeker and more flexible than spacesuits of the past, and it comes in different sizes for a better fit. Axiom Space, the company designing the next-gen gear, says it plans to have new versions of the suit available for training purposes for NASA by later this summer.
Well, a new poll suggests the number of older Americans experiencing loneliness is dwindling. The poll by the University of Michigan researchers shows about 1/3 of Americans 50 to 80 years old say they still experience loneliness or isolation, either often or sometimes. Now, that figure is down from the 50% of older Americans who reported those feelings in June of 2020.
Some good news there. Meanwhile, Buffalo Wild Wings just admitted that their boneless wings are not actual chicken wings. This comes as the chain is currently being sued for false advertising. The lawsuit alleging that the company has overpriced boneless wings, even though they're just chicken nuggets. In a tweet posted on Monday, Buffalo Wild Wings admitted to the allegations in a sarcastic manner. They said, quote, "It's true. Our boneless wings are all white meat chicken. Our hamburgers contain no ham. Our buffalo wings are 0% buffalo."
Well, there is a new top dog in town. The Labrador Retriever is now the top purebred dog in the U.S., or it was as of last year, but it's the first time in 3 decades that the lovable lab isn't ranked number 1 now. The AKC says nearly 1 in every 7 dogs added to its registry was a French bulldog. Brandy Munden of the AKC says she isn't surprised by the increase in popularity, reasoning that dog owners are leaning towards getting smaller, more adaptable animals that don't require a ton of exercise.
It's not shocking given ownership trends, people wanting something that's adaptable, especially because we've been home for the past 3 years for a lot of people, a lot more people working from home, a lot more people with flexibility and wanting something that can kind of move with them wherever they go. And the Frenchie does have a lot of that.
Oh, so after decades of being in the top spot, Labs now second to Frenchies. The AKC's other top dog breeds are Golden Retrievers, German Shepherds, and Poodles. Not much movement there. As of now, rankings don't include popular mixed breeds like Labradoodles and Cockapoos. Frenchies certainly are cute, that is for sure. You just got to be careful with the hot weather.
Yep, and we love them all though, right?
We do. We want them all. Please and thank you. Good night.
Good night, everyone.
For more local news coverage, switch over to our sister station, ABC7, right now for ABC7 News at 11.
Looks like you've been sleeping well.
Megan, he's back. The My Pillow guy.
And you're looking good.
Still feeling good.
Well, just when you thought it couldn't get any better, we've got the best pillow ever, My Pillow 2.0.
Wow. So soft and smooth.
It's cool to the touch. How did you do that?
Well, we took My Pillow's patented fill and combined it with this new technology that we didn't have back then when I